Hello again, crafty friends, Copic friends. We are going to be doing some quick coloring. I'm sorry I have been gone so long. I am once again, I think most women can identify with this, rebalancing my life. And I'm not sure yet where it all fits. The pieces aren't fitting very well anymore. So rebalancing, rechecking. I'm hoping to be here a little more often again. I'm not sure if the weekly is going to happen, but we will see. But I did want to do a couple of holiday images, and this one is particularly special. This is one of Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs. So it's that full sheet, the 8.5 by 11 that you just literally print it straight through your printer. It's ready to go. It's all lined up. She has a bunch of type, and if I'm not incorrect, this is French. This is all in French. So I don't know. I'd have to do a little translation, and I am not, my very limited high school French is not going to get me there. I know there's I voudrais, something about my small children or small infants. But no, something about looking for a response, my friend. So no, I don't know what this all says, but it's done in French. And then we have kind of this beautiful holiday kind of poinsettia-esque flower, a little Mary banner, and another little piece of type. What I discovered later, that Anne names all of hers a name. All of these images have a female name for the most part, and they are people that are significant in her life. And what I this one is actually named Michelle. I didn't think anything of that, and I apologize in advance to Anne that I didn't realize this right from the get-go. Well, when I went on to pull this off and read a little bit more, because I enjoy reading about her friends and the significance of those people in her life, this was made in honor of me, and I am flattered and humbled and just so grateful for her friendship. So thank you very much, Anne. I am honored. So I'm going to be coloring up the Michelle image in honor of myself, but in honor of my friend Anne today. And I will have this both on my YouTube channel at Copic and the Craft Room, but this will also appear if you have not seen it and you're watching this on Copic and the Craft Room. Anne also has a YouTube channel, and many of the videos you see there will be from me, but there's others as well. So Ann Corbiere-Scott YouTube channel as well. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'll talk you through it. We're going to color the little poinsettia with some of my favorite reds and greens right now, and then you can kind of create a card. I'm not going to do that on the video today. And then hopefully later this week, I'm going to get a nativity scene in, because that has been a tradition on Copic and the Craft Room to do one every season. And I have one picked out. It's sitting beside me, so if we can have the time, it'll probably just be a speed color video with some music in the background. But I'm hoping to get that done as well. So for those of you celebrating the Christmas celebrations, Merry, Merry Christmas to you. For those celebrating other holiday traditions, happy holidays to all of you. All right, so we've got some reds, and I have kind of shifted gears with my reds. I've always been an R2 girl, but I've kind of shifted to the R3s, but they tend to be a little almost watered down to me. They are a little more desaturated, meaning that gray has been added, but they're almost watered down. They're not as rich a color as some of the R2s are. So I am going to add an R4 in the mix, and I never remember exactly my color combo. So down on the bottom of my page, this is an R35, and then I know I'm going to add an R46. This is an R46. And that really makes it richer to me. It kind of gets it bolder. Now see, this is the one. I'm pretty sure I don't use this one because it's very similar. It's right in that same, obviously we've got one that ends in 6 and one that ends in 7. And this is where to me it ends up looking a little kind of wishy-washy. And then I am going to use an R39. And then to get this even so into those deepest things. I couldn't remember if I need a BB25. Oh yeah, that's going to be perfect. Or a BB29. So I think if I wanted to, I could push it back with a BB29, but I think that BB25 is really going to do what I want it to. So those are going to be the colors for the flower itself. So we'll start there. All right. So I'm going to start, and I'm actually going to go dark to light, and I'm going to do my underpainting first with that blue violet BB25. So I'm going to go every other petal, and I'm going to push these back. So she created this beautiful kind of doodly design, and I'm going to keep this extremely loose so that we see kind of that kind of in and out of the little petal. But I'm going to do this on every other petal. So I'm going to lose a little bit that idea of that little loop-de-loop that's happening. I love how she draws. I'm a fan of doodling. If you've not seen some of my other stuff that I did before I've done all my Copics, I used to teach doodling all the time, not only to crafters but to high schoolers. So but in this case, I'm going to go through and really kind of accentuate the petals. So we've got one forward, one back, one forward. I didn't count ahead of time. We'll see if this works out the way we are hoping. But the idea of the blue violet, and this was that BB25, which is grayish violet, appropriately named in this case, is that it's going to push it further away from the viewer. It's going to push it away further back, give it some depth. All right, there we go. And then these other petals might have small touches. But it's more just coming from the inside portion of the flower out. So hopefully what's going to happen is a few of these petals will look like they're laying underneath the others. There we go. Then I am going to work in reverse through my reds. A lot of times I've found with reds this becomes a little bit easier because, so this is my R39. Now look at what happens with this R39. So it is a darker red, however, because of this R3, I love the tones of it, but it's very watered down. It just doesn't look that thick. What will happen though, remember we're going to add that R4, 6. It is going to brighten that up and intensify that color. So I am working over the top of all the blue violet that I laid down, and then a little bit further on each of these areas with R39, which is garnet. And I'm keeping it really, really loose. I am not being super picky. But what's going to happen is that underpainting, especially as I add this next layer, it's going to kind of blend in to those reds, and so it'll just deepen those reds. I'll have to think about what I want to do those little center pieces of the flower, since I've kind of accidentally hit a few of those. All right, 2 more to go. These top ones are considerably quicker because I'm keeping those really simple, just doing kind of a standard petal that's coming a little bit deeper at the center and core of the petal and getting lighter out toward the edges and out toward the tip. It's fairly common in a lot of flowers. There we go. All right, R4-6. So what I know I'm going to do with this is I know I'm going to hit all these areas I just hit, and I'm going to go a little bit further. So it's going to do a couple things. It's going to really brighten up. Look at the difference between the two. It really brightens up that red, which is one of the main reasons I add it into this color combo. It's going to soften that blue-gray even further, so it's not as distinct. It becomes even more of an underpainting color. These back petals will have barely any white showing by the time we get this step done. There'll be some, especially out on the edges of these forward petals, top line petals. But these back ones, we want them to be a little bit darker, so most of that, if not all of it, will end up kind of getting tucked in with that R4-6. But I've done this color combo a few times, and I love how the R4-6 kind of brightens up the R3s. They're pretty, I just like it a little bit more oomph, personally. All right, almost there. Last one. And it's not going to be completely smoothly blended. That was not my intent when I started this one. Hope I've not fallen off the side. I think I might have a little bit. So this is the R3-5, which is, I think, coral. The R4-6 is strong red, the one that I was using previously. So this will come in, and I'm just going to kind of circle right into those white areas and push into what I've already got going. Definitely a lighter color. I don't know that I'd say coral, especially when you put it with its kind of natural blending group. I feel like it goes deeper than that, but it's a beautiful color. I use this color combination actually on another image by Ann, kind of this yarn bundle shaped in a heart. So you might recognize these colors, and I think that one I added color pencil, and this one I just have really pushed my colors with the Copics. Couple more. So those top petals now should really start popping forward or pulling forward with those brighter, lighter edges. At least that's a little bit of the hope. Here we go. The dry weather this winter is playing havoc with my contacts, which already were not necessarily always doing a great job, but now they have this great excuse with this dry weather and they feel like they want to pop out of my head. Okay, so I've got my reds on there and I'm really liking that. I think I'm going to go for some greens. We've got a couple different sections of greens and I brought a few things over. Let's see. I thought if I started with a lighter yellow green, this is a YG63, then I've got, I can't remember, this is a G, I have a feeling one of these, their cap is really off. It's that one. Okay, so, but I think this is gonna work. Yeah. So I've got a YG63, I've got a G85 and a G99. And if you look at the caps, this is the order they're going in. That G85 is very much not this color, and the G99 is actually a little off as well. So I think I'm gonna do the darker, just the two darkers without the yellow green on the little bit of evergreen foliage over here. So this is the G8, what is it, G85 Verd something, can't read it. And then I'm going to come in with the G99, which is olive. Just giving it that little bit of texture. And over on this side, I think I'm going to base the leaf in this YG63 pea green. So it has a little more yellow to it. I'm going to add this one to the pile of needs some attention. So let's see, other bits of news. I am still on schedule to have a brand new class coming out in February. It's for pre-sale, and you still can get it for pre-sale. It's not on sale. There's no discount at this point. You missed that. That was kind of a Black Friday little sales event. But I'm going to have a Copic Coloring class all about clothing and fabric. So the entire class, and I've done the manual, it's about 90 pages, believe it or not, all about clothing. So we're looking at folds and pleats, we're looking at textures and prints, all different kinds. So we talk about plaids and dots and florals and knits. That was a huge request, and it was already on my list, but I spent even more time on it since that was something that people really wanted. So now I'm going to switch back to that G85. I'm going to give these little guys some shape. So I'm working kind of out from the center, a little bit more of a traditional crafting take on leaves. We're not going for photorealism, but that's not the intent of the image either, is it? So using what is there, definitely want to get this guy pushed back a little bit. And then I'll use a tiny bit right at the core of that G99. And again, pushing that back leaf underneath. There we go. We don't need a whole lot of smoothing out, but you can do a little. This is kind of a nice color combo in that it does blend fairly well. So it doesn't take a lot of work. You can keep it really light. I'm actually pretty pleased with it right there. I don't know that I want to smooth it a whole lot further. Then I'm going to keep these little guys really simple. This is going to be that YG. And if anything, I'm just going to put kind of a little dot right at that, right where it touches that little stem. There we go. You could even make some of those red if you wanted to, more like berries. And then the center, a lot of times that's yellow. So I'll pull out a couple more traditional colors for that. And obviously I've ended up with some red in here. So this is a Y21. Kind of my standard go-to kind of lighter yellow, Buttercup. Is that, yeah, Buttercup yellow. And then Lionette Gold, Y28. And I'm going to hit at least kind of 3/4 around the edge, if not all the way around. And my guess is I'm not going to need to blend that. Again, always personal choices there. You can decide what suits you. I might even, I appreciate these would not necessarily be yellow, but kind of fun to add. And each of those might actually even be fun to do more of a gold shiny finish too. Let's see. I could do clear, or I have gold. I might do the clear. Because then the color will show through. Let's see if I've got any ready to. Yep. There we go. So I'll let that dry and then figure out a way to do something fun and get it on a card. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope each and every one of you is having some wonderful time with family and friends. If nothing else, getting a little bit of downtime and finding some joy. Happy holidays and have a very happy, colorful day.